What's up, everyone? This is a live stretching class today. So this is actually just the mobility work that I had in my schedule to do today. It's a little bit of hip mobility mixed in with some shoulder stretching and shoulder prehab work. And I'm going to do it live here with you guys. I put out a Ask Me Anything on Strength Side, at the Strength Side if you want to follow us on Instagram. And I'm going to answer some questions and talk while we do this because I think that'll be a little bit more entertaining than, if I'm just guiding you through stretching. It can get dry, it can get boring. So that's what we're doing today. I'm also testing out my new Rode mic here. I like it because I could put it on this hat, and at any point my shirt might come off because I start getting hot. So that'll be a cool feature to have, because usually if you got the lapel mic right here, you can't take the shirt off, right? So let's get started. This first series is actually something given to me by my coach. Not exactly this series, but it's some hip internal rotation work along with some butterfly external rotation work. So I'm going to begin in my 4 position here, or shin box, or 90-90, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to be working on this back hip internal rotation, okay? So I'm going to start with my hand pinning down my ankle here, and I'm going to do contractions going up against my hand, okay? And I'm going to hold for 5 seconds. So we're going to go up, relax. Should feel uncomfortable, right? You should feel this area light up, and you might even get some cramping. A lot of the time, my first rep, I'll usually cramp. For some reason, I didn't today. I'm gonna go again. 4, 5. I'm gonna relax. Just realizing I could probably show you guys a better angle. I'm gonna go again. Up. Relax. Cool. Now after I've done the contractions, I'm going to do lifts here. So I'm going to be lifting my foot up off the ground, okay? Trying to keep myself from pitching forward because that's going to just allow me to do this. I want all this internal rotation to come from the hip. I'm doing 10, that was 7, 8, 9. On this one, I'm gonna hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew! Should really feel that hip light up there on that hold. These pink pants look a little washed out, that's okay. I really don't know how to work the camera that well. Okay, this is already beginning to be a little too boring for me. So let's get into some questions as we move to this other hip. Let's see what's popping. They make it really hard to find these Ask Me Anythings on Instagram. I feel like they could do better. All right. Josh, what other hobbies do you have apart from exercise? This is a great question because, sometimes exercise kind of takes over your life, especially if you work in the field, if you're a personal trainer or something like that. It's like all day long you're just, have fitness on the mind. I'm going to go up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Well, something, actually, this is kind of exercise, but I don't view it as exercise. I love riding my bike. It's something that I didn't do for a lot of years. I used to ride bikes when I was a kid, right? And something that I didn't do for many years. And I'm not like a cyclist or anything like that. I just have a little commuter bike. But I love just popping on some music and just go cruising around town. Once again, not for exercise, just with the wind in your face and have some good music playing. Like, I went out last night. Let's do another contraction. Up. 4, 5. I hopped on my bike yesterday evening. It was kind of drizzling out. It's still kind of drizzling. And I went to like the other side of the town, and it just started pouring on me. And it was super fun, man. It was super fun until like the last quarter of the ride home, when I was just drenched, and it kind of got to be a little miserable. But it felt great, and I felt very alive. So riding my bike is one of my hobbies. I'm gonna go up. 3, 4, 5. What else? How about something that has nothing to do with... Well, I mean, I like to be entertained. I like to listen to comedy podcasts. Love comedy podcasts. Actually, somebody asked, what's your favorite podcast in terms of comedy? I really love Congratulations by Chris D'Elia. Man, I tune into that every week. I love This Past Weekend and King and the Sting by Theo Vaughn and Brendan Schaub. I tune into those every week. Let's do lifts. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, and we should mention this is a lot different than the usual follow-alongs I put out. Usually those are kind of tailored to beginners, and I'm teaching, and I have that nice clean voiceover going and multiple camera angles. This is more, if you want to do what I'm doing, then join me. I would love to have you. Any other hobbies? Well, I used to be pretty heavily into ceramics, actually. Like throwing on a wheel. Actually have my own wheel. But I haven't done it in years now. But man, I loved it, and I would love to get back into that at some point again in my life. So I'm gonna move to a butterfly here on the wall. So I get my back up against the wall. And usually I would do this barefoot, all this stretching stuff, but it's kind of wet around here and whatnot, and that's why I'm wearing shoes, because I guess I'm scared of water. Oh man. Let's see if I can get another question while we do this. Oh, speaking of podcasts, this guy says, Flex and Berna, don't mean to stress you out, but I'm asking. When do you plan to podcast again? Thanks. Well, I appreciate you not wanting to stress me out. That's very kind of you. Well, I plan to podcast again soon, actually. This is kind of like a podcast right now, right? Hopefully you're enjoying it. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to place my hands on the bottom of my knees, and then I'm going to pull down against my hands for 10 seconds. And I'm essentially just trying to fire up my glute muscles, the outsides of my hip, the hip rotators. Relax. I didn't count. Seemed somewhere around 10 there. So I actually had big plans to bring the podcast back, and I even recorded episode 1 on my computer. But it was going to be a traveling podcast. I was going to do it in different areas because we were taking off to Europe, and that's what the first episode was about leaving to Europe. And then all this coronavirus stuff happened, so the trip obviously is not going on or delayed. So I decided to delay the podcast until I start traveling, and to right now kind of focus on the YouTube content, right? Because that's the biggest platform for Strength Side. You know, we have a lot of subscribers. So yeah, I'm just trying to create good YouTube content right now. It's my brother Mitch. I'm gonna answer. Yo, brother.
Yo, what up?
Dude, I'm actually filming a YouTube video right now. And you're in it, actually, so do you want to say what's up?
I'm in it. What's up? What's up, YouTube?
You want to say anything to the strength side audience?
Man, to the strength side audience, I just want to say, y'all are awesome, man. Just keep, just keep living, keep doing the thing. Man, you guys inspire me.
Hell yeah, dude. I love that. Just bringing those positive vibes, as always.
As always.
All right, bro. I'll call you back after I'm done doing this, all right?
All right,
All right, that was cool. That's at Sit With Mitch. Sit with, I forget if it's with or wit, but sit with Mitch. Let's go again. Push down. What was I talking about? Nine, 10. Good. You should feel here. Feel that here. Feel them hips firing up, because you need those hips to fire it up. Open this crotch up. This has always been a really hard range for me to open here. These inner thighs and hamstrings are nice and stiff from years of sitting around and not opening my legs. I know where I was. Podcast. So, yeah, just putting energy into the YouTube content right now, but believe me, the podcast will be here. It depends on how long this coronavirus thing lasts, but I would say within 3 months you'll be hearing a Strength Side podcast. So now I'm going to put my hands on top of here, and I'm going to push the knees down for 3 seconds, and then I'm going to push up for 3 seconds. When I push up, I'm pinching those inner thighs, squeezing them, and then I'm relaxing the inner thighs and squeezing my glutes to push down, up. Lately, I've been really bad about actually counting here. I've just been kind of going off feel. Which I think in the beginning, metrics are very important when you're kind of a beginner. Like, you gotta track your times, track your reps. And for making progress, I mean, you gotta know your metrics. But for something like this, where I've been stretching for quite some time now, I kind of know when I get to that point where I'm like, oh yeah, this is the last rep. And I'm gonna call this the last rep here. I'm gonna hold for 10 seconds down. And I'm just trying to feel my glutes here. Trying to feel the outsides of my hips. Relax. Whew. This is always one I gotta pry myself out of a little bit. Cool. How you feeling? Ooh, yeah. So I'm gonna just take a second here to let this settle, then I'm gonna go through that one more time. So I read another comment that was, how do you think of the content that you're gonna put on YouTube? And I think that's a cool question, because like there's so many options of what you can put on YouTube, and some of the content goes after things that are popular. So like a full body stretching routine, that's something that's going to be popular, right? A lot of people are searching for that. A lot of people want to do a stretching routine for beginners or whatever. But then there's other content lately that I've just been feeling inspired to make, like the how to be successful video that I put out kind of recently, talking about being authentic and whatnot. And yeah, I really enjoyed making that video and some of the other videos that were in that same kind of category, because I was taking myself out of the physicalness, right? Everything I'm doing is usually based on doing this with the body and whatnot, but over time, you see that all the stuff that you're doing with your body is really just serving your transformation and growth as a human being. And that goes much deeper than the physicalness, right? That goes, you start to see that the physical transformation is actually a catalyst for a lot of spiritual growth and mental growth. And yeah, so I've been trying to put content out that reflects that, and to teach, but also just to kind of show my path and share my journey. And if it inspires you, that's awesome. And if you can learn like just something small from it, that's awesome. And you know, if you think that I'm just a whack dude with a man bun, then that's awesome too, right? Like it's all good. So I'm gonna go back to internal rotation here, right? Oh yeah, we start with the contractions pushing up. 1, 2, 5. Relax. Go again. Relax. One more time. Up. And relax. Cool. Internal rotation, man, this is a game changer. If you have stiff hips and you haven't trained internal rotation, like I did for years, I put it off. I knew I had shitty internal rotation, but I was like, oh, I could get around it. You can't get around it. You got to put some time in here, and it will probably take a few months, if not half a year, if not a full year, you know? Here we go. I'm gonna lift. And before you get range like this, being able to control a lot of this internal rotation, it'll probably be a grind, and it'll feel like, we got 2 more. Last one. It'll feel like maybe you're not making any progress in it at all. That's how I felt in the beginning. Like I'm just banging my head against the wall. Nothing's happening. Relax. But trust me, things are happening. Things are happening. If you're doing the work, very little, like, if you're putting in the work, then something's always happening. There's usually never times when you're getting nothing out of it, right? Let's switch to this side. Up. And I have other videos where I show how to regress this, and we use this in the Move Strong Now program. 3, 4, 5. And there's different levels for if you're starting at a pretty regressed state and you can't even sit into this position, you know. We have levels, and yeah, it's a nice plug for Move Strong Now. That's the great thing about it is everybody does the same material, but there's different levels of where you can place yourself at. So, you know, everyone needs to work on internal rotation if you have any limitation in your hips. But someone like me is working at a different level than someone who is really stiff and never done this before, right? So Move Strong Now will kind of meet you where you're at. Up. Relax. Now we're gonna go lifts. And now we have the guided program, which is all follow alongs. If you like following along with me, like this one, and which is more geared towards a beginner level. But you'll still be doing the things that I think everyone needs to be doing that make up a healthy, functional, mobile, capable, athletic body, right? You know, 2 more. It'll just be less intense. It'll be a lot less workload. It'll be probably a little bit more fun, but you may not see as fast a progress as if you were to do Move Strong Now. So it might be 2 different types of people that would do either program. Or you don't need to do any program. You can just chill here with me on YouTube. Let's move into our butterfly. Let's bring up a new question. New question. I have super tight hips. Any hip opener routine? Thanks for the content, man. Yes, do this. Do this with me. We're gonna move into some hip flexor and quad stretching next, actually. So this is gonna get you pretty far, man. Pretty far. How long have you been training movement and mobility, and how long did it take for results? For results. It's an interesting question because, I mean, I still feel very much in the middle. I feel in the middle of the process. I still have a long ways to go in getting towards some of my goals and mobility and more of my movement capabilities. I'm gonna press down here. 10 seconds. So that's the problem when a lot of people ask, how long does it take for results? It's like, well, what results? Like, a little bit of change? That might not take too long, you know? Completely transforming your body? That's gonna take a long time, you know? Pulling down 5 more seconds. And when you get to, when you get to a level like me, which seems a little pretentious, but it just means like I've been practicing for a long time now. Not that I'm on a super high level, but you realize that this is just a process that we're going through, and man, we're just along the journey, you know? And the only difference between me and you is I may have started a little bit earlier, right? And you start to see that, oh, this guy who can do this thing that I want to be able to do, he's just been training it longer, you know? He's just been on the journey a little bit longer than me, and it's all just this spectrum that we're all on, and it's like, who's gonna stay on the path and who's gonna fall off? And like, I don't want to be the guy that falls off. I want to keep doing this stuff, you know? I'm gonna press down. 3, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up. I'm looking at myself in the little camera view finder thing. I see my knees are getting pretty close to parallel here. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Holding. Sorry, I forgot to tell you. Holding. Awesome. At this point, if you're still doing this with me, then I know you're a dedicated practitioner. So I know you won't be too mad at me for not giving you the correct guidance. We're at 25 minutes. Okay, so we're gonna switch to a new, actually I gotta use the restroom. I'll be right back. Okay, cool. Cool, had to take a quick restroom break there. So that hip rotation routine it's actually not the exact same from my coach, but my coach, it's at WBrown7 on Instagram. If you guys want to follow him, he's doing some really amazing stuff. He has loads of followers. Check him out. Okay, this guy said the name of your pink sweatpants brand. Okay, a lot of people have been asking me this. The pink sweatpants are literally from what's the name of the store? Forever 21. Yes, they have a men's section. Why was I in there? I don't know. No, to be honest, I actually was looking for like a crazy pair of joggers or sweats to wear to ecstatic dance, because, you know, it puts me in more of a goofy mood, and then I can kind of feel better like letting myself go and dancing and stuff. So I found these, and man, I loved them. So I've been wearing them a bunch. I swear I don't wear them every day. They've just been coming out for a lot of videos lately. Okay, so let's get started here. I'm gonna start with a shoulder stretch. And if I didn't mention, I'm kind of doing a lot of this stuff to prepare for handstand work that I'm gonna do after I'm done with this stretching stuff. So I'm gonna put 45 seconds on the timer, and then I'm just gonna be pressing my chest down, reaching my shoulders up and forward, okay? I like to really try to compress the hip here. Keep the lower spine in flexion or neutral, so then this extension can come from my upper spine. And I want to breathe. And relax. Cool. I've made a lot of gains from that stretch alone in my overhead ability. Well, that stretch combined with hanging, and usually I would do a little hanging combined with this, but don't have anything to hang from right here, so it's all good. We could do it later at another time. So now I'm gonna move into a little quad stretch here. I've been enjoying this quad stretch lately, and that's just to come in this deep lunge and then to grab the leg through the back, very yoga-like, right? I'm gonna set the timer. We're off, 45 seconds. I like this because I can kind of adjust. I can sink the hips down a little bit. If I want, I can pull the heel towards my butt a little bit more if I want. I'm just really trying to open up that right hip, that right quad. I don't do a whole lot of quad and hip flexor stretching anymore because I've spent so many years doing, so much time over the years doing it, not lately, over the years. But I've been sitting, editing videos a lot lately, last few days. So it feels good to add some in right now. Let's go ahead and switch to the other side. Not gonna lie, wouldn't mind a little pillow for my knee right now, but I'm gonna suck it up. I've always said I got tough knees. I don't need no pillow. Breathe a little bit, or a lot. Focus on that full exhale. And I like to focus on my inhale, expanding my rib cage. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Good stuff. Really good stuff. Cool, so now I like to combine a little bit of shoulder prehab work in here. I'm gonna do a prone W. Oh shoot. Let's see, I'm gonna have to put my head down. So we'll see. I'm gonna have to move the mic around. Hopefully this won't mess up the audio too much. But I've really been digging the W's lately and just driving good depression and external rotation on my shoulders. So I'm here, I'm gonna keep the elbows down below my shoulders, and then I'm going to squeeze between my shoulder blades. I'm gonna feel the sensation of opening up the chest, and then I'm gonna lift, okay? Here we go. Hold for 3 seconds, come back down. Keep my thumbs up to drive external rotation. And I also keep my hand as high or higher than my elbow to drive external rotation. Should feel behind the shoulder, lighting up between the shoulder blades. I lost track of how many, so I'm gonna do 2 more. I'm also squeezing my butt. Let's go, last one. I'm gonna hold for 10. 10. Relax. Oh boy. What'd that feel like? I feel good, man. Oh, sorry, you might not be able to hear me. Okay. Okay, we back. Yeah, that felt good. All right. Let's see. Do we have a question? Favorite podcast? Ooh, favorite novel. Favorite novel. Well, let's see. Favorite novel. Man, I swear I read, but I can't really think of a lot of novels. I mean, lately I've been reading mostly nonfiction. Oh, probably the last good novel that I read was The Kite Runner. That was a really cool story. Yeah, that was great. I'm gonna go ahead and hop into this overhead stretch here. We got 45 seconds. Get them hips down. Honestly, I read the Harry Potters recently. Books 1 through 3. And I actually really enjoyed them. I mean, obviously they're made for kids, but I really liked the first book because it was certainly the hero's journey type of story. Kind of the same as Star Wars, right? Like Harry gets this call to adventure and then he finds his mentors along the way, and kind of like The Alchemist. I mentioned The Alchemist in one of my last videos. Oh yeah, dude. So The Alchemist would be another one. I used to read all these in college. I just remember the author's name is Greg Iles, and I read all of his books because they're all like suspense and murder mysteries and stuff like that, and he was like a cool main character. And yeah, I always enjoy the Saxon tales, I believe they're called. They're like historical fiction, and The Last Kingdom, that's the show on Netflix. I like the show too, but I read all the books first, and yeah, I really enjoyed that series for sure. We're back to our quad stretch here. All right, here we go. Sifting through the questions. How to stay focused in enduring hardships? What a great question. I mean, right now in the world is kind of one of those times when there's a lot of stuff going on, right? So it's easy to get distracted from the things that support you in being a healthy person and being a driven person and whatever your goals are. But I think this is where having a practice, whether that is, you know, you don't know, I'm going to tell you, having a practice where you're focused on achieving something, but you're also focused on the process, right? Something like this. We're trying to get results out of the stretches that we're doing and the mobility work that we're doing. But I'm also learning along the way from everything that I'm doing, and it becomes a process. And when you begin to deepen your process and don't worry so much about the outcomes of things, but to kind of fall in love with the how, fall in love with just every day coming to practice, you know? Maybe that sounds corny, but that's how people get really good at their chosen activity in sport or whatever it is you fall in love with the process. You fall in love with just doing the thing. And once the thing becomes too much about a superficial goal, getting this thing, it's not going to be as enjoyable. And relax. And then if you don't get the thing that you wanted, then you're more prone to quit, right? So for me, like maybe aside from the exercise, I've just fallen in love with journaling and meditating and getting myself to these more quiet places where I feel really good. I feel good about my life and about what I'm doing. And yeah, what was the question again? Stay focused, yeah. Yeah, and that essentially is like, you can't rely on the motivation to always be there. You have to develop a love for just the grind, kind of, right? Okay, we're gonna do W's again. Back with the mic off. Head down. And left. 3. I like to squeeze here harder than I think possible. I find for most people and most things, you can push, you can squeeze, you can do something a little bit harder than what you thought was your hardest. How many reps is that? God damn it. I gotta remember to count. Something about having that camera on makes me not count. Shit. I'm gonna hold for 10. And relax. Sweet, man. That one felt good, right? I think I want to do that one more round through. Where are we at? We're at 41. I honestly might take this to an hour, so we're good on time. Let's see, what else do we got going here? Oh, okay. Surah J, Suresh. Hey Josh, is MSN okay to do without warm-up, cool down, or did I miss something? It's a good question from our boy. I'm gonna hop back into this overhead stretch. Yeah, it's completely fine to do without a warm-up or a cool-down. I mean, warm-up and cool-down is very dependent and unique to the person, right? And I think very simply, a warm-up can just sometimes just be getting your blood flowing, which you could literally do anything to get your blood flowing. You could run, you could do jumping jacks, you could do sit down on the ground and stand up a bunch of times. But then in Move Strong Now, the first 2 movements of every session are movements that are preparing you. Ooh, that was loud. I apologize if that's super loud in the mic. But those 2 movements are movements that are preparing you to do the harder movements that come after that. And I think that's how most good training programs go, is the first 2, or not 2, just the first exercise or whatever couplet of exercises are going to be kind of preparing you for what's next, right? You're never going to just jump into the intense, like 10 out of 10 thing without doing some type of prep work, right? So the warm-up is essentially built in to Move Strong Now, and I think that's how you should structure your training if you're doing something on your own. So let's go quad. Go. Oh damn, I feel deep in this one now. Oh yeah, guys, we're getting mobile out here. We getting mobile. I think a lot of the time it takes 3 sets of something before you really get your nervous system to release and are really able to deepen into a stretch. And hopefully for you guys that are following along right now are feeling that, and once you kind of realize that, it makes you want to keep on pushing and not skip out on the sets, you know. Yeah. How we feeling? Let's see. Someone said, hey, I asked you a DM. Could you please look at it? That's not a good question. Oh, we'll go back to the favorite podcast question. Okay. Let's first hop into this other side. Timer on. Favorite podcast. So I mentioned my favorite comedy podcasts, and those just, you know, like Krista Lee always says, this is for a silly goose time, you know, and sometimes that's so important when you're just so serious in everyday life and things start to feel so heavy. Like, do you ever feel that? Like, everything you're doing, like you're at work, things are heavy, and, you know, you're exercising, things seem heavy, and, you know, if you're not in like a super healthy relationship, then maybe that feels heavy as well. Maybe you don't have a lot of good close relationships. In that, yeah, things start to feel really heavy. So I really like comedy, and just not even comedy, but just people who take a playful attitude at life to give you that sense of like, yeah, man, we're all just having fun. We're all just playing a game here, you know? Okay, so other podcasts. When it comes to health and wellness, health and fitness, I usually tune into the Align podcast. Aaron Alexander's the host, just has a wide range of guests on there that are talking about everything, man. But a lot of his content is more holistic health, you know, like not just the fitness industry stuff of squats and lunges and deadlifts, but more so like, well, kind of like one of the latest videos that I posted, how to be healthy, right? Like looking at things from all angles, right? So yeah, really enjoy his podcast, and I really enjoy the Bledsoe Show, which is Mike Bledsoe, a guy I've followed for a long time, and his content is, I think it's more based in personal growth, transformation, business development, stuff like this, entrepreneurship maybe, but then also some health and fitness stuff as well. So really cool podcast, and he kind of pushes the boundaries, I think, right? He makes you think about weird stuff that may be a little uncomfortable at times, and I think we all need that. So, speaking of uncomfortable, let's do some W's. Lift. Hey guys, guess what? I'm counting. That's 4. Six. I'm gonna do last one, hold for 10. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, boy. Hell yeah. I'm interested to see how this looks because, like I said, I don't know how to work this camera that well in manual mode. I'm more of a auto mode type of guy. Oh, we're about at 50 minutes. Okay. So, we're gonna finish up here with some shoulder stuff that's gonna get me ready for handstands. It's gonna be really good for your shoulders. And then maybe you can do some handstands after this as well, right? So I'm gonna start with a scat push-up. So we're just simply protracting, side of the rib cage, retracting, letting the shoulder blades come together, right? I like to think about kind of trying to keep my elbow pits opened up here, not getting into this position, but to get to that position, okay? Here we go. Oh yeah, one more. Hold. Holding that protraction. And relax. Whew. Whew. You know what? I'm just gonna sit in my squat here. I was like, wow, my hips feel really open. Maybe I'll try a front split right now that I haven't done in years. I was just thinking of like showing off to you guys. Because I was like, oh, I'll probably be able to do a front split. So, I'm saying it because I'm still thinking about it. But it's probably not a good idea. There's really no reason for me to do it. Unless I'm actually training it. I'll think about it a little bit more. Next, you're gonna need like a broomstick or a band. You can also do this with a band. I do it with both. And I'm gonna do a dislocate here. So that means I'm gonna move from here all the way around with my elbow straight. I'm trying to drive this motion with my shoulder blades, keeping the rib cage in alignment, not letting myself flare. I always have a really hard time counting these because I end up counting 1, 2, when really that's just 1. Do 2 more. Oh yeah, those always feel so good, man. Really opening up the shoulder, right? Passive stretching can be nice, but if you need to turn on muscles that control your ability to open the shoulder, then something like this is probably always going to be a little bit more beneficial, right? So the last one I'm going to do here is my coach calls a face down drill. So we go here. I put the broomstick underneath my lower abdomen or my belly button. And then I come here, reach my arms out, and I'm going to lift my belly away from the broomstick. And then I'm going to lift my arms off the ground, hold, 2, 1, relax. So posterior tilt here, arms lift here, right? This is the position that we want in a handstand, okay? Let's go again. I'm gonna hold for 5 seconds. Here we go. Relax. Hard to breathe during these ones. Here we go, I'm gonna lift posterior tilt, squeeze the butt, and I'm going to my calf cramped up there for some reason. Okay, let's do this again. The belly. Good, relax. How many was that? Was that 3 or 4? We'll do 2 more. Here we go. Belly lifts. Woo. Good. This will be interesting to see my form on video here. I hope it's okay. Last one. Lift. Squeeze. Oh, those be brutal, man. Those be brutal. Okay. Okay. We're gonna do one more round of that. And I'm trying to remember what the first exercise was. Oh yeah, it was a scapula push-up. Okay. We'll do one more round, and that should be around an hour. If you guys made it this far, man, dope. Thank you. Let's see, anything else I want to add? No, I'm excited to keep bringing cool content to YouTube. Hopefully things that are a little bit different or highly different. Yeah, man, I'm just trying to, I think on strength side, we're creating like a really cool tribe of people who care about their body, they care about fitness, but they also want to approach things in maybe a different way that doesn't lead you to the superficialness of fitness, and you want to get more meaning behind that journey that you're going through, and that's what's happened for me in my life, and that's pretty much what I'm trying to share here on Strength Side. So, but like, part of that is, working hard and doing the right mobility exercises in order to feel open. And the more open you can feel and the more strong you can feel, the more empowering that is, and the more confidence you have to take on life, to crush life, in other aspects, and then to get right here and to be able to then kind of quiet down and to feel good. At the end of the day, we all just want to feel good. That's what it's all about, So, I'm not a master. I'm just sharing my stuff, and I can be a guide for some of you. So, let's hit these scat push-ups. Scat push-up is awesome because, we're training the ability of the scapula to protract, but then in a handstand, you need protraction to then get this good upward rotation of the shoulder to then have a good place to stack your shoulder on top of your arm and to get that good body line, right? So let's do 10 of these. Elbow straight. I'll do one more. Yeah. Feeling good. Feeling good and alive. Good and alive. Let's see, which way should I face here for this dislocate? And you can do these standing too. Of course. I guess I'll just face the camera this time. So here we go. Up. Feel the shoulder roll back into external rotation. For me, it took me a long time to get that control over my shoulder blades. When I started this journey of doing more calisthenics movement, bodyweight movement, handstands, gymnastic stuff, I had really poor control of my scapula. And it's still something that I'm working on a lot. And I've gotten a chance to work on it a ton over the last 2 months because I had my injury, I had surgery on my stomach, so I couldn't do much, but I could do a lot of this work, a lot of this prehab work, and I think that was really beneficial for me. And now that I'm back to strength training, I'm finding that I didn't lose out on so much, You always think that if you can't train for 3 weeks, a month, you're gonna lose everything. And I definitely lost a lot, but it came back so quickly. So that was a nice thing to see. And it makes me less fearful of if I have to stop training for a while for some reason. I know I could always come back and my body's gonna be ready to do work quickly. I don't know how many that's been. Let's do one more. Like to hold right here. Really open the shoulder. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. Okay, we got our last body line drill. I was doing these with weights in my hand, actually, but since I've come back from my injury, I'm kind of just working to just get this pattern right. I feel really confident with these. So here we go. Lift the stomach. Relax. Whew. Here we go. Relax. Here we go. Oh, that was 3. You know, 2 more. Up. Very good. Last one. Oh yeah. God damn. That feels nice. That feels nice, ladies and gentlemen. We did it. We freaking did it, man. If you did this whole thing with me, you're probably feeling pretty good right now, pretty open. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you hanging out. You know, if you did enjoy this, leave a comment below. I'll do another one and I'll give you guys more. I did the Instagram question just like 2 hours ago, so I'll give more of an opportunity for all you guys to ask questions and we could kind of dive in together. And I'm gonna put myself on the spot and see if I could stick a handstand. Sometimes I'm not very good under pressure. So, let's see. Well, by golly, he did it. Not gonna lie. Thought that was gonna take me like 2 or 3 tries. That's bad, man. Shouldn't be creating those self-limiting beliefs for myself while we're here. You know, just to make this video a little longer than it already is. Why don't I try the splits now too? God damn it. I shouldn't be doing this. Can I go this way? I haven't tried this in a while. Okay. I'm pretty close. Can I get this hip down? Ah, not quite. Pretty damn close though. Haven't done that in a while. Let's try this side. I can't remember which side is my good and bad side. And we active here too, boys. We active. Oh, yeah, this seems like my bad side for sure. Oh, trying to get some flexibility like Saturno movement. Shout out to that guy. I saw him doing a lot of cool follow alongs for everyone, longer ones. Say what's up, Skittles. What's up, guys? All right, guys. This turned into something else. Like I said, if you enjoyed it, say, I enjoyed this, or say something cooler than that. And I'll do another one with maybe a different stretching routine or some strength or whatever. We can chill. Like the video, you know, all that stuff. I hate saying it. You guys know. Just do this stuff if you don't mind. Peace.